And I'm going to start this with just a note. Last week, the Hollywood SMPTE section, I was sitting in on their student advisory board meeting, and they told me that production companies are on the lookout for kids with experience in AI. So I thought that was an interesting way to start this discussion today. So our topic today is, where am I going to find a job in video or film? And this is not Hollywood, guys, folks, people. So I think it's real important to understand that there is a really fantastic corporate video world here, and there's a need for this internal communications, marketing. There's lots of events, and a lot of what is going on in the discussions today have to do with hybrid meetings that are both live and they're recorded and they're on TV and video and everything like that. So I'm going to start with Dina Ibrahim. Dina Ibrahim is the professor in the Broadcast and Electronics Communication Arts. It's called BECA. It's part of San Francisco State University. But more than that, she was the director that really started the CSU, Entertainment Alliance. And if you haven't seen it, you got to check it out, because it connects all 23 Cal State schools together.
CSUentertainment.com. Sorry, John.
And indicates like how many incredible programs. There are probably 150, 180 different media and entertainment programs amongst the Cal State schools. So my question for Dr. Ibrahim is, how do the programs at BECA prepare students for the workforce?
Yeah, we're behind. We're still behind. Like, it sucks. Higher ed just can't keep up. We can't. And especially when, you work for the state of California and you're broke. You're not a private school where it costs $70,000. So we're not in the business of scamming people. At least I'm not. And by scamming, I mean getting a return on investment in terms of education. So San Francisco State is a wonderful place. I've been there 21 years. I keep running into alum all over this conference. Hi. And when they get jobs, I've done my job. That's my job. So how are we doing? We're doing okay, maybe like a B+. But I honestly think that I want to shout out community colleges. I want to shout out my dear friend Misha. I want to shout out whoever was on the last panel. I don't remember her name, but she will be my friend. And yes, because community colleges are literally the best ROI, and they're doing a way better job than the Cal State system currently is. But we're trying to create curriculum and to align curriculum with industry standards that keep changing literally every day. So it's a hustle. I have a couple talking points, and then I'm going to shut up because, Reid Hoffman. I want to thank Dave Van Hoy because he's cool. And he runs ASG, which is also cool. Advanced Systems Group. Look it up if you're a student, if you want to get a job, because you know what? This morning, I was on a panel called Recruiting Talent. How do we find people? We need people. We can't find people. So they did this thing where they created a recruitment system. According to the guy whose name I can't remember, but I wrote it down, it's an experience, okay? He was talking about applying to ASG like you're going to watch a show at the Sphere in Vegas. He's like, it's an experience. So we've created these forms, and we want to weed out people to make sure that we pick people who are like not assholes and learn stuff, Soft skills, which is a problem, okay? Because you guys are like, not you guys, the students, were traumatized by COVID, and they just sit with their phones like this, and they text all the time, and they can't put it away, and they're addicted, and they just don't know how to talk to people. So I'm going to propose to ASG to create a simulation of this job application experience. Like, some dude's figured out like this whole system, and then he's like, then I'm gonna just outsource all of that to my assistant. They're just gonna filter through the applicants, okay, and weed out the garbage. And you know what? I might even get a virtual assistant to filter out the garbage applicants. And I was like, holy shit, I need to teach my students how to impress a virtual assistant. Yeah, for real. This actually happened at like 10 a.m. Anyway, so it's really important to get past the robots and to improve soft skills, which we know, I hope we're teaching at San Francisco State. I definitely want to say other things, but I'm going to stop there for now.
You mentioned ASG, and I should have probably mentioned that my name is John Shike, and I'm a Key Accounts Manager at Advanced Systems Group, ASG, and I'm also
And he got a job. What was your job interview like?
I have
anyway.
I'm a membership director in SMPTE, Society of Motion Picture Television Engineers, and SMPTE is really engaged in trying to enlarge the workforce and connect students with jobs and to sort of be leading to help out with the education of the extra stuff, right?
Oh, I remembered what I was going to say. Then I was like, hey, ASG, give me your job descriptions, okay? Because you spent a lot of time and effort, like the HR hiring people. And I said, give me these job descriptions, put them in a doc, I'll give it to ChatGPT. It will then synthesize these characteristics or qualifications, and then I'll just build curriculum around that. Just be like, okay, this is what you need to be to get paid.
Dina's going to take all our job descriptions, put them in AI. In the meantime, I'm holding paper.
I'm going to delegate it. Someone else is going to do it. My virtual assistant. No, I'm actually going to find a human.
But actually, I want to now introduce Mike Tyler from ASG, and he is the Senior Director of Managed Services for Media and Entertainment. And my question for Mike is, how do hiring managers weigh experience versus education? And there might be a second question here.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Just to give you an idea how long have I've been in this business, one of the previous panelists, Mike Whalen, I met Mike when he was an intern. Okay, and I was a producer at Tandem Computers. So I've been around quite a while, and I have a kind of an older perspective about education and doing the kind of jobs that that you always all want to do, right? You want to get out and get into this business. The bottom line is, I think one of the things that was said this morning in this morning's session was just say yes. And I would say, to recommend to all of you, say yes, because your education matters, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, there's things about your education that you may not even think of, right? For instance, one of my first editing experiences, and I mean like film editing, was my freshman English class. And I had a teacher who said, okay, we're going to learn about editing because you have to understand what editing, the power of editing, what that's about. And so we had to go rent, 8mm camera, buy the film stock, and actually physically cut a film together for an English class. And that experience with writing and editing and everything really helped. Now, there were other times when I was sitting in my computer class and doing, key punch cards and thinking, it's like, I will never use this, right? And you think about it when you were kids in grade school and grammar school, and you were thinking, it's like, I'm never going to use division. I'm never going to use, multiplication. You get into adulthood, and suddenly you're using it all the time. Well, guess what? Computer programming is a big part of it, right? So, is it, whether you're thinking about production, whether you're thinking about engineering, the bottom line is say yes to every opportunity you have. Because when I'm looking at a resume, I'm looking at not only your educational background, but what have you done? And I will tell you that, I've written a lot of job descriptions. I mean, tons over the years. And what I've learned from my experience is that there are a lot of people out there with educations who are just stupid. Seriously. I had a boss who used to come up and says, another college-trained idiot. Every morning they wake up, you've got to retrain them, right? He was really hardcore. Now, he never went to college, but he's a brilliant engineer, okay? And one of the things that, you talked about the community colleges versus, the state colleges. I went to the College of San Mateo, where we had a great on-hands program, right? Incredible on-hands program. And what I noticed was that these students coming from San Francisco State University, they had their BAs that didn't know how to operate the equipment.
You gonna rag on SF State right now?
Sorry, I graduated from SF State too, but that's okay. I'm just saying that.
No,
that
you're right.
this is-
Community
this is the
colleges
early-
have more resources,
And
by
this
the
is
way.
the early 80s, right? So, and of course, CSEM also had Channel 60, so they had an actual working broadcast
Now you're just
station.
showing off.
So, it was a little
Well,
bit
City
different.
College has Channel 27. Just
Well, they do now, yeah.
anyway.
So anyway, so the point is that the hands-on experience counts. It matters, right? And so whenever I write a job description, I write not only the educational part of it, but do you have the equivalent of actual work experience, right? And so whether it's going to be engineering, whether it's going to be production, whatever it may be, go for it. Say yes. You never know when you're going to have an opportunity to take that experience and put it into your career. And I think the last thing I'm going to leave you with, the difference between having a job in television and media and having a career in television media is the ability to pivot. If you do not have that breadth of experience, you will not be able to pivot, and you will find yourself out quickly.
So before I ask Robin, and this is Robin Kincade, and she is, I suspect she probably owns Kincade Productions because it's named after her, right? So, and before I really ask her a question, I want her to at least tell us about her website, because she's got a website that talks about how
It's
to
like
become a
literally better than
production
college,
assistant.
seriously.
So how to become a production.
For real.
Tell us about your website, Robin.
Okay, my name is Robin Kincade, obviously, and I'm a producer, a location scout, and a photographer. Since 1990, I've been, working freelance. I haven't had a job since then. And it's rough. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but you know yourself, right? Know what you want. So I created an online program. It's 6 hours of video. I got tired of seeing all this great talent come onto the set and not get asked back. They're never going to fire you. They're just going to talk about you after you leave. How was that PA? The PA is the door. It's the direct door into the industry. And a lot of people do not understand how important this position is. They'll teach you to shoot. They'll teach you to edit. They're not going to hire you for that. You can't monetize that. You have to go get coffee. You have to process petty cash. You have to talk on a walkie-talkie and know the language. You have to shut down a set. You have to keep your mouth shut and your ears open. These are the things they're looking for. When you do that, you can either get a job or you can get, like me, can't take a job, freelance for the rest of your life, right? And it just depends on what you like. If you like the edge, you're going to freelance. If you like security and consistency, you're going to get a job. So that's what I did. So I put this course together. And we're in about 20 different high schools in California right now.
So that's just, Google Robin Kincade and you'll find the PA course. But the question is, in today's world of technology, how do you find someone to actually speak person to person?
Yeah, it's difficult because nobody calls anybody. You have to make an appointment to talk on the phone now. Why? I just call people. I do.
I do too.
Yeah, it's really.
I just call them.
Yeah, I just call them. They pick up.
If they pick up, great.
I leave a
The
message
voicemail.
if they don't. Yeah, and then I call them again.
The students, this voicemail box is full because I don't care about voicemail.
Well, it's those people skills, right? Those soft skills that are so important that are getting lost, right?
Exactly. So what I call it the nitty-gritty. If you want a job in the industry, you're going to start as a PA. You're going to go over and you're going to get a database, whatever that database is. And you're not going to just take that database. You're going to look up all of those websites, and you're going to see if you like them. Are they still in business? Because a lot of databases, they're not. All right? Some are. Then you're going to see whether you like what they're doing. All right? It's a numbers game. You're going to create an Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to put all the ones that you like what they're doing on that spreadsheet, and you're going to start calling them and writing them. You're going to do 10 a day, no more. Maybe 15 if you can handle it. Then you're going to get a little grumpy. You're going to walk away and go take a swim or a walk and do the rest of your day. You're going to do this for a while, and eventually something's going to pop. When they pop, that's when you jump. Say yes. Say yes, yes, yes at the beginning, and then as you go along, you can start to say no. But it's how do you get a face-to-face? You call them. Go on LinkedIn, go on Facebook, see if they have any organizations they belong to. Join that organization if you know you want to work for that company.
Join SMPTE, like now.
Join SMPTE.
Yeah.
Join anything that you think you can find your target. Think of yourself as a private investigator, a PI, and this is your job, right? Mission Impossible. This is your job. That's how I did it. And when you do that, you'll stir that pot.
One thing I would add is that, when you talk about joining SMPTE, I would say when I was a student in school, we would have killed to join SMPTE. We weren't allowed. You had to be an engineer. You had to be a professional engineer to join SMPTE. Now SMPTE is reaching out to students. If you have the opportunity to join SMPTE, join it. Get involved. Say yes. Get out there.
It's a cult.
Free for students,
a
right?
good one.
So there you go.
And it's free. Come on now.
So please, I encourage you, if you're not in it now, sign up before you leave. Talk to John, give me your information, sign up. Talk to Dina, wherever.
Just Dina.
Go to the SMPTE booth. There you go.
Oh, we have a booth. Awesome.
I was going to say, since we're doing plugs right now, so SMPTE does have a booth, and it's sort of down at the end of where the auditorium is, right? And there's for professionals today, there's a 20% off. So join, and I'm sure that number's the secret code will be good all week. And then also for students, it's free. So it's $15 a year after the first year, but it's basically free. And it's cool. The SMPTE meetings, by the way, anyone can come. So they're open. You don't have to even be a SMPTE member to come to a SMPTE event meeting. And I was going to say other ways of meeting people come to these things. So the SVV, this is incredible with 1,000 people here. This is one great place to meet people. Be on LinkedIn, have a profile. Make sure you have a profile on LinkedIn so people can find you and you can look up people on LinkedIn. And obviously, in addition to this, like NAB, trade shows, these are great places to meet people and SMPTE meetings. And we have our annual SMPTE in Pasadena in October. That'd be another good one. So my next question is going to be back to Dina. Dina, if you are an independent contractor, do you need to have business skills?
Yeah, one of the things that I think is really important for everyone to understand is the difference between being a W-2 employee, right? And it's pleasant because the taxes are taken out and you have benefits, health benefits. And if anyone asks you to be a W-2 employee without giving you benefits, run. The other option is to be an independent contractor, and in our industry, let's be frank, it's a gig economy. W-2 is great though, because that's like a real job. All right, you can do both. You can just have a real job at some tech place down the street. ASG is hiring apparently. The guy's name is Sean. He has tattoos. We'll find him. But yeah, there are jobs. That's the thing. It's the disconnect is between the skill set and the jobs. The jobs are there. Don't tell me AI is killing jobs. I mean, jobs are there. They really are, I promise. Go find Sean. But he was actually talking about the process as a hiring manager. He actually prefers W-2 employees, right? Because sometimes he has to go to different locations and find crew, If you're doing work all over the place, that's another thing. If you want to get a job, get a passport and get a good suitcase. And headphones, because you're going to be on the road a lot, maybe go find somewhere cheap to live and make that your home base, but you'll be on the road, right? So if you're an independent contractor, I try to teach my students, and actually Robin does a way better job than I ever could on, she has a whole module about setting up your LLC, your limited liability company, and creating invoices. You're looking at me. You have a whole business curriculum.
The last course is about how to be in business, but it's for PAs. So the deal is, as a PA, they're going to payroll you. Right. After that prop came down, I can't remember the number of it, but no more that they would not payroll you. I used to work as a PA, and I would just get the check, and then I hired an accountant, because how expensive is that going to be? I'm making so little money, I'm a PA, and that worked. Now they're going to payroll you. It's fine. It doesn't matter. When you get in, what happens is the road and the river takes you.
Aww.
And where the road and the river takes you, you go. You don't like the river, get out. Right? But some of you will start as payroll and move into freelance. Some will be the opposite. It just depends on what you want and what you're willing to put in. But she's right. For freelancers now, for people like me, we have to have an LLC, and there's a certain, but that's not that hard either.
No, LegalZoom, LegalZoom.com, blah, 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 you know, ChatGPT, make me an LLC. Like, it's not that deep. And the thing is, what's cool is you can buy stuff and write it off on your taxes. Like, all the gas money I spent this year, a big percentage of it was on my job search or, driving for business. I want to get new camera, new computer. I want to get toys.
Health insurance premiums are all written off.
Is that? No way.
Way.
Oh, I didn't know
that. LLC, absolutely.
See, I'm a W-2 employee, so.
Yeah. No, I mean.
SF State.
It's something. It really depends on who you are. Do you like a steady paycheck? I feel like I'm a cow in the field. I'm dying here. Is this all there is? I can't take it. And that was from my 20s when I had a job, right? And everybody's so different. You can't compare yourself to other people. You have to find out what you want, what's right for you. For me, it was not having a job. And that was the right decision for me. For other people, that's just too stressful.
And don't have kids, right? Because once you have kids, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, that ruins your whole life. Okay, don't do it until you have $100,000 in the bank. Okay? Just don't, because then you can't gig as much. Please take it from here.
That was
right?
the decision I made in my career. So I was like,
I have 4 mistakes. How many do you?
Yeah, I don't have enough fingers and toes.
No. How many children do you have?
Oh, children. Oh. I thought you said mistake. Oh, okay. So I have 4 kids. 4 kids.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, 4 kids. So, and the bottom line is I got to a point where, I was going gangbusters. I was going to go to Hollywood. I was all set. I had an opportunity. And I stopped and I looked at my kids and I was like, oh, yeah. What is this going to mean for my family, right? What's the impact going to be? And I actually got out of broadcasting and got into corporate because of my kids. If you think about it, I was directing news. So I started out my career directing news. I actually signed my first professional directing contract at 19, okay? So the bottom line is, I started my career very, very early. I was directing news. I was directing morning news. I was directing evening news, We're also directing the weekend news, and the news happens on Christmas holidays and Thanksgiving and all these different holidays. And suddenly it's like, okay, well, it's fine when you're single. It's fine when you don't have kids. Suddenly you start to have kids, and it's like, you mean I'm going to miss Christmas morning with my kids? My kids' first Christmas morning? Okay, that's the choice you're going to have to make, right? And so at some point in time, it's like, I found this corporate job. It's like, it's Monday through Friday, 8 through 5. And I get weekends off. Every 4 years, I got a 6-week sabbatical. And I'm going to double my salary. What's not to like about that, right? So I left broadcasting and got into the corporate. And I didn't look back, right? I got a chance to raise my kids and be there for my kids and all the rest of it. But then, the career took off again, started going like crazy.
Wait, then he sold his soul out. So after he sold his soul and went corporate, tell them the story about the driving thing that you couldn't go to.
So we're down to
we're done. Okay. Well,
to wrap this up, but I like the duel
to be
between
continued.
the W-2s and the gig economy here. But just a note that in the last week, I've been asked by 3 separate companies, do you know any engineers? So if you want a job, let me just tell you, we really need engineers, we need technicians, we need operators, we need people who understand technology,
And you can get certified to do that, you guys. You don't have to go to college for it.
School, and they're looking for 2 video audio engineers. Another was a broadcast TV station. They said, we're so desperate, send somebody trainable, and we'll train them for 6 months and get them going. And then the other was a manufacturer company like those exhibitors outside, and they're just looking for people who can, deal with the equipment, understand the equipment, use the equipment. So there's a real need for being operationally smart, technically smart, that kind of stuff. So something to consider in all these things. So we have to wrap because the AI Reid Hoffman is now alive, and I've been asked to tell you that please stay in the auditorium at 5:30 for Ian Charnas. So Ian Charnas invented his job. He invented his role. He is now the chief engineer at Crunch Labs. And if you haven't seen Crunch Labs, look up Mark Rober on YouTube and watch these are like the most incredible STEM toys you've ever seen. So please stay for that. Want you to see that. So thanks all. Thanks for being here.